everyone and welcome to another SQL video with Learn at No Start. Today we are going to take a look at one SQL query that seems to be perfectly written but strangely is not giving us the expected results. Let's see if we can fix this query. We are going to be working with the orders table. The orders table has multiple order dates for each customer ID. So we write a query using the last underscore value function, the window function, to find out the last order date for each customer. Now, if we take a look at the results, we see that the last order date for each customer has been calculated the same as the order date for that particular record. What we expected was that the last value function is going to return us the 5th of May 2023 as the last order date for customer ID 1. So what do you think is wrong with this SQL query? In order to see if I can find some useful tips for fixing our query, I'm going to go to learnsql.com, which is a leading SQL training platform with 70 plus interactive SQL courses that teach you not only standard SQL but also PostgreSQL, MySQL and so on. I'm going to log into my account using my Google ID and try to find a course on the Windows function. I'm going to choose the Windows function course and I can see that it explains the last underscore value function. What I appreciate the most about this platform is that every single course consists of hands-on exercises. You also have a code editor wherein you can directly write your code on the example database included in the exercises. You do not need to download any specific software. You can just practice SQL right away on your browser. Now I'm looking at the details of the last value function on the learnsql.com course. And I can see that the issue with my query lies in the query considering only the default Windows frame that starts from the first row for that customer ID until the current row for that customer ID. And so I need to use rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following after my order by clause to get the correct results. Going back to our query, if I define my Windows frame using rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following after my order by clause, we can see that now we have got the correct results. So the key concept to understand here is how to define a window frame and what is the default window frame when we're using any of the window analytic functions. If you don't define the window frame explicitly, then the default window frame is always from the first record for that particular customer, in our case, till the current record. In this output, we can see the last order date that was calculated with the default window frame and the last order date that was calculated when we defined the correct window frame. Let's go back to our order table, and this time we want to calculate our running total that should be calculated only at the end of each day. We can see that there are multiple orders placed in the same day with different amounts. So we write a simple query calculating the sum of amount, and we have just ordered by the order date to calculate a running total. I'm going to execute this query and we can see that we have got what we needed. We've got a single running total amount for each order date, which is the sum of all the orders on that particular order date. So I'm going to explicitly define a Windows frame. I'm going to say rows unbounded preceding, and now execute my query. And now you can see that the running total has been calculated for each record in our order table. If I change this to range and execute my query, I'm again going to get the results which I had initially got. So this was the default window frame, which if we do not define the Windows frame, will be considered by the SQL query and we'll be getting the same result. So we really need to understand how our query output might differ based on what kind of window frame we have defined. Now going to a third example, there might also be complex scenarios where we need to calculate, let's say, running totals, but only consider the previous two records. In those cases, we can again define an explicit Windows frame saying rows between two preceding and current row. If you execute this query, You will see that the running total has been calculated, taking into account the values of the two previous rows and the current rows. So in all, these three rows have been summed up to come up with this particular value. So some of you might be noticing that we are simply ordering by order date, and since we have multiple records for the same order date, the order in the output for these three records, let's say for 1st of October, might be random, and that is right. So in an ideal scenario, you need to have another key ID value which you need to order by along with the order date column. You can find more details on how you should be defining your Windows frame and what are the different options while defining your Windows frame boundaries in this course. So if you want to try the courses on learnsql.com, you can click on the link below in the description, and there's also a code for a 5% discount. Also, their Black Friday sale is going on, so you can get some awesome discounts, and you can also start a free trial and test out their courses. I hope that today's video was useful. See you next time.